Hey guys, Ivan here, and in today's video we got a couple of very interesting bodybuilding updates. The first one is about James Hollingshead. In my opinion, in my prediction video, I actually gave him 5th spot in the upcoming Arnold Classic this weekend, and he just posted this photo and made this post, basically in which he talks about his leg day. But what I found very interesting here is the part that I highlighted, where he says, "I'm so happy to finish our first prep together," and I found this very funny. I don't know if you did as well, guys, because you remember the last prep that James started with Milos Sarcev, prepped with him until 6 weeks out, then started prepping with Jordan Peters, then was prepped by Branch Warren, and in the end, it was his wife that was helping him to make the decisions by himself. So that was one of the funniest, one of the craziest preps I heard about. And here James says, "I'm so happy to finish this prep together with Stefan Kinsel." So yes, James started this prep with Stefan Kinsel and he's finishing it with him. Hopefully he will not change a coach in the next 5 days. But all jokes aside, what I also found very interesting about this photo right here is his death face. Take a look at his face right now. This is what your face should look like at 5 days out of a show if you are in really good condition. And it seems like James is bringing a solid level of dryness, as he likes to call it, Caucasian dry. He looks like he's really bringing it this time around. He is probably going to be in the best shape of his life. And it seems like it's not going to turn out the way it turned out at the Mr. Olympia with Patrick tour, when they messed up the fullness and James ended up looking really conditioned but like too flat, so he kind of looked like soft, you know. The muscle didn't pop out, so there was no separation. Everything was just dead. So now I think he's going to bring it peak-wise, fullness-wise, and conditioning-wise. How do I know that? Why do I think that? Is his face the only indicator? No. But in my previous video, my prediction video, there was this comment that got a lot of likes. So this guy says, "Hollingshead is placed above people he has never beaten based off what? Hope? James never shows up on stage like he is in his prep. He's not beating Sean, Bonac, Curry, or Kim Williams. Bonac beat Curry in the Olympia." And the reply was also interesting. The guy says, "Make your own prediction and post them, bro." I mean, yeah, like we're all trying to predict what's going to happen. I'm not going to just place these guys based on the way they were placing so far. I am expecting something to change. And I think this is going to be a good year for James based on all I said. Plus, the previous physique update that I posted about James is actually not recent. On Fuad's podcast, James actually said that this is actually from like 3 or 4 weeks out. It's an older photo. And here, I would dare to say that he looks probably in better condition than he ever was at 1 week out. Now, this does not have to mean that he will push the conditioning furthermore, but it most likely means that he is going to improve upon this. That he is going to get maybe not more conditioned, but if he brings up the fullness and like the freshness of the body, if he just stops dieting and starts eating more, not too much, like not to the point where he's going to gain body fat, but to the point where his body is going to refresh, get rested, and come alive, right, with harder training, with more volume, with more food, being able to train with more volume, and resting up the body, doing less cardio. His body is gonna just start to look fresher, fuller, harder, even without bringing the body fat percent lower. Because I don't think he needs to lower the body fat percent anymore from this point. He should dehydrate, lose the water in the final days, in the peak week. But conditioning right here at 3 weeks out or 4 weeks out, this is really good, guys. And it seems like James is bringing some new detail. I don't know if that's just simply his conditioning, or I don't know, his muscle maturity, whatever that means, has improved somehow. I don't know, but from what I'm seeing, James seems to be bringing his absolute best of his life, and I can see him beating all those guys that he has never beaten before. If any of you guys disagree with me, that's fine. Like that guy said, make your own prediction. This is what I think is going to happen, but we'll see. Now, I will also address the part where this guy says William Bonac has beaten Brandon Curry at the Olympia. And yes, I do have Brandon placing above William at the Arnold Classic. Why is that? Look, it's not because I think William Bonac is going to look bad. I think he's going to be on. I think he's going to be probably, potentially, a little bit fuller, a little bit maybe more conditioned. I think he's going to be better than he was at the Mr. Olympia. But I just don't see him bringing back what he used to have back in 2020, 18, 19, 20, when he was battling against Brandon Curry. But when these two guys were 100% on, both of them, and that happened multiple times. These two guys had a rivalry going on, a really good rivalry that wasn't really talked about a lot. Like 2019 Arnold Classic, it was extremely close. And Brandon ended up winning. At the Mr. Olympia, you guys know, Brandon won. At the Arnold Classic next year, Brandon also beat William Bonac. So these guys were extremely close in my opinion, but Brandon was simply a little bit better. Now, this is not a knock at William Bonac. I listened to Fuad's podcast. I know what he has been through, what he has done. I don't want no problems with William Bonac. I competed at his show last year, so we're all good, I hope. But I just feel like Brandon is potentially going to bring back a lot of what he lost. I think he's going to be closer to his best than William Bonac. Why? Well, there are multiple reasons for that, but for example, take a look at this most recent video from Brandon Curry that is posted on his YouTube channel. And in this video, I gotta tell you guys, Brandon looks like he is bringing it, man. Like, he does not look small at all, and it looks like he is very hard, very conditioned, and we all saw him at like 6 weeks out. He was already in shape then, in really good shape. And his plan was to get in, actually his coach's plan was to get in condition early and then work on fullness. And the reason why he didn't look his best last year is, if you guys remember, his former coach, Abdullah, fired Brandon Curry. He did not want to work with him because he was not taking it seriously in the off-season, and he decided to start prepping 10 weeks, 11 weeks out of the Mr. Olympia, and he looked super small. That's what Abdullah said. So in those 11 weeks, Brandon managed to bring the size back, but not to the point where he is actually a contender for the title, for the Mr. Olympia title. And now, he didn't have a lot of time between the Arnold Classic prep and the Mr. Olympia. There was only 12 weeks in between, so he had a much better starting point. And forget about all that. Just take a look at this. How much worse does this look than Brandon at his absolute best? I mean, it's hard to tell based on gym posing videos, but from what I'm seeing, this is looking very good. Very good. Probably not as big as he was in 2019 or 2020, but I don't think this is far worse than that. I think this is actually pretty close. Pretty close, and we know that his conditioning was very good at 6 weeks out. We'll see what he's actually going to look like on stage, but based on these videos, man, the physique updates, look at this, look at the arms, look at the shoulders, the chest, the back. I mean, we can't see his legs, but they're definitely going to be a weak point for him, but like how weak? I don't think he's going to be that bad. That's why I have him placing above Bonac, James Hollinshead, Carlos Thomas Jr., Sean Clarita. I think that's pretty reasonable. I don't see him beating Andrew or Derek or Samson. I think that also makes a lot of sense. No need to explain that. But I think he has a solid chance of placing the top 4 or 4th. I think that's reasonable. But if you guys disagree, you can tell me down below. Alright, and the final news we got, it's about Sam Sulek. And guys, I don't have the time to watch every single Sam Sulek video, they're like hour long, but I hear things here and there, and for example, right here on this Instagram news bodybuilding page, I saw this, and no, don't think this is actually Sam finishing his competitive career. This is just him finishing this competitive season. Before we actually start talking about this, let me play this for you guys, and let's hear what Sam actually said.
And then we can get ready for one more stage showing. The end of this competition season is upon us, and we will see how I stand. So, till then, I'll see you tomorrow.
Alright, so basically, no matter what happens in the Arnold Amateur, whether Sam wins a pro card or he does not, he's wrapping up his competitive season right there. Now, that got me wondering, what is his next goal? Like, he barely made the weight for MPC Classic Physique Amateur. And if he doesn't win a pro card right here, what should he do next year? Is he gonna try to, cut the weight again and do Classic Physique again? I mean, if he has another year, for example, of an off-season, he's going to put on a lot more muscle. In 1 year, this guy, at the rate that he was progressing so far, I can see him gaining 10 pounds easy in 1 year. If that happens, is he going to, go down in weight and make his Classic Physique weight again? Or is he just gonna wait a couple of years and start competing in the Open? Now, if he actually wins a pro card, then he will have another around 10 pounds, maybe a little bit less than 10 pounds, to his Classic Physique weight cap in pros. So that way, he can definitely take an off season, put on as much muscle as possible, maybe try and bring a little bit better conditioning next time, and still make the weight, in Classic Physique IFBB Pro. But if he doesn't win a pro card, I don't know. I don't think it makes a lot of sense for him to come back and try to win a pro card again next year. So I think if he doesn't win a pro card, he's done with Classic Physique, most likely. And he's going to go to the Open. Now, if he wants to win a pro card in the Open, it's not going to happen in 1 year, in one off season. He would have to take at least a couple of years, probably around 3 years, I would say. That's my best guess for Sam to become a professional bodybuilder in the Open class. But there is no guarantee that that's going to happen ever. I think he has the potential to grow enough muscle if he's willing to do what it takes. And, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. You need to be a little bit crazy to really go for that. And I don't know if he has that fire, that desire in him. And if he actually does, is he going to be there after a couple of years? I mean, you never know. So we'll see how he's going to do at the Arnold Classic Amateur. I mean, there is a possibility if his posing is perfected, if he maybe gets a little bit sharper, I don't know. There is a possibility of him winning a pro card, with his name as well. That's not going to hurt at all. But if it doesn't happen, who knows what's going to happen with Sam's future competitive career. What do you guys think is going to happen? Tell me down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you guys want to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you soon. All the best and bye-bye.